A franchise consultant is not a franchise salesperson. She is not a broker, and she is not licensed to sell a franchise. Stay right here, and I'm going to tell you what some franchise consultants don't want you to know. A good franchise consultant should be many things to you as you explore franchising, including an expert guide to your due diligence process, a teacher of the industry and the franchise disclosure document, a resource to help you with financing and to find a good franchise attorney if you need one, and ultimately a cheerleader, a trusted advocate, and a supporter to help encourage you along the path. But a franchise consultant is not a franchise salesperson. We do not have a license to sell a business. We are not business brokers. We are consultants who are there to guide and educate and lead and support, not to give you specific information about a franchise. I know it can feel very limiting. Trust me, I've been doing it for 19 years, encouraging people to get to the franchisor and to better yet, get out to the franchisees, but not to take specific information from me. And in fact, it's why I don't give any specific information to my candidates about any of the concepts that I'm introducing them to. It's just not my job. When you explore a franchise and when you say yes to a franchise business, you are buying a partnership. You are buying leadership. You are buying into vision and culture, all things that I can't represent. In every franchise business, the financials of the business will vary depending on the market, depending on the seasonality. There are so many factors that will come into play to determine exactly what it will cost you to open your business that I don't know anything about, nor am I the expert to be the one to help you with that information. And that is why a good franchise consultant should not be giving you that information, because I think ultimately it could be confusing and even misleading. Why do you want to take it from me? I don't represent the company. I don't work for the company, right? I'm helping guide your process. You came to me because you wanted help to select the right franchise business. You wanted to know that you were doing proper due diligence, you were asking the right questions, you were talking to the right people, and those are my jobs. It is not my job to represent any specific brand. Once I've selected my top 3 to 5 companies for a candidate, then I'm going to encourage them to go on the blind date, which is the first round of call with the franchisor, so they can become familiar with the concept, with the company, with the culture. They can get a feeling, because in one conversation, you'd be surprised how much you can really learn, not about a widget, but about a company and how it makes you feel. In the beginning, when I'm working with a candidate, I'm encouraging them to stay focused on the people and the leadership and how that makes them feel before they get too entrenched into learning the specifics of the toolbox and what's going to be there to support them and help make them a successful franchisee. Ultimately, when you're going through the due diligence process and you've met the franchisor, you're going to be able to go out and you're going to interview their franchise owners. And this is really where candidates learn the bulk of the information that they need in order to say yes to a franchise business. Because even if a franchisor makes an earnings claim, you don't want to take it from them. You want to hear from people that aren't trying to sell you anything, how they're doing. And if the numbers that are in that earnings claim have been achieved by a certain number of franchisees out there in the system. So it's the combination of learning from the franchisor and the franchisees that will help to complete your due diligence. A good franchise consultant is just helping you feel competent, that you're asking the right questions, so that you can feel confident in that final decision. Having worked with thousands of candidates over the last 19 years, I know that everybody's looking for a certain amount of certainty, a kind of guarantee that if they dare to say yes to this dream, that they will be successful. And so they're looking to everybody, sometimes including me, for that little bit of confidence that helps them know that they're on the right path. And so while I am going to be there to help you know what questions to ask, to challenge your thinking, to be that resource for all the things that you need, I am not going to give you specific information about the franchise because it's just not my job. As I've already said, I don't represent any of these franchise brands, nor does any other consultant. We are paid by the franchisors because they want our help in bringing to them the most qualified people for their opportunity. And that's our job, to find people like you who have the dream to want to own a business and to match you with businesses that align to your interests, your skills, your financial capability, and your goals. To bring the two parties together and then to coach the process. But ultimately, whether this is the right opportunity for you is between you and the franchisor. Through the years, there have been candidates that have completed their due diligence process, but at the end of the process, the franchisor did not award them the opportunity to move forward. For one reason or another, the franchisor just didn't feel like this was a good mutual fit. Of course, that's very disheartening, and this is when I come in as the cheerleader and the support person to help the candidate remember that ultimately it is the franchisor's business to award before it's theirs to buy, and that if the franchisor is saying no, it's probably for good reason and might be saving you and them a lot of potential heartache. And so this is where we come back together, we maybe take what we've learned, and maybe we begin again to find another franchise opportunity that will be a better fit. I know sometimes when people are not awarded the opportunity to move forward by the franchisor, it's very disheartening. And some people, that's the end of their journey because they just can't pick themselves back up off the floor. And I totally get it. But this is where a really good franchise consultant can come in because it's only one company. There was a candidate that I worked with years ago who was in this exact scenario. He was turned down by one franchisor who just felt that culturally, this person just wasn't necessarily a good fit. But he put his ego aside. We went back to his model. I found other companies for him to explore. And his second process went faster because he already had the learning curve from the first process that now he could apply. And he even knew with more clarity what was really important to him in a franchisor partnership. In the end, we found him a business, and when he looked back, he said, I am so grateful that the first opportunity didn't work out, because had it worked out, I never would have ended up with this opportunity with this franchisor. Things always work out as they should, and a good franchise consultant will be here to coach you no matter what happens in your journey. But a good franchise consultant is not here to give you any specific information. If you are searching for the right franchise consultant to help you find the best franchise opportunities for you, your interests, your skills, your goals, I would love to be your daily coach. Please leave a comment below or reach directly out to the Daily Coach. If you've enjoyed this video and you'll want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe.